Today on 21st Century Business, explore state-of-the-art technology, innovative business strategies, insights from cutting-edge corporations around the globe, a visionary look into the answers of tomorrow, today. Business leaders, business solutions, 21st Century Business.
Welcome to 21st Century Business. I'm Jackie Bales. When it comes to title insurance, those in the know understand that complex regulations significantly impact the industry. Lenders need a partner that can simultaneously ensure compliance as well as speed along the closing process. Well, here today to discuss this topic and how their company is uniquely positioned to solve it, we have Patrick Stone, President and CEO of Williston Financial Group, and Chief Compliance Officer Don O'Neill. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
Patrick, first of all, can you tell us more about the challenges currently facing the title insurance industry?
Jackie, the biggest challenge facing the title insurance industry is compliance. We've always operated in a legally compliant manner, but with the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau and the enactment of the laws and regulations, it's becoming incumbent upon us to support our clients every way possible to ensure that the consumer has a legally compliant and satisfactory experience.
Now, Don, what makes Williston Financial Group a unique solution as an industry provider?
Certainly starting with the idea of creating a culture of compliance by setting up the policies and procedures, the audit practices, and even training our employees that distinguish us from others in the marketplace is one way. And then we also look at our ways of adapting to our customers' needs. We look at every opportunity to integrate with customers, minimize rekeying of data, looking at ways to minimize the duplication of effort, all with the idea of creating more efficiency in the process. The final thing is the training of our employees, I mentioned a minute ago. We see our employees as a key part of our process going forward to distinguishing our company as having the best people, the best trained, and the best committed employees to serve our customers.
For home buyers, real estate agents, and lenders, there is no better or more important day than closing day. Keys get exchanged and checks get signed. And hopefully, all is done quickly and without a hitch. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. Stories abound of hours of delay, all due to a missing, errant, or non-compliant document, often leading everyone involved to ask the frustrated question of, isn't there a better way? At Wiliston Financial Group, they believe there is a better way, and their client-centric philosophy helps them to take the time and cost out of real estate transactions.
What sets WFG apart from other escrow providers is that we truly try to focus on the four cornerstones of our company. Those cornerstones are to communicate, collaborate, coexist. We exist solely for our customers. We take the time and cost out of the real estate transaction and to obsess about service. We try to do this on a daily basis by listening to our customers and their wants and needs rather than telling them what we have or what they want.
By focusing on service metrics, we know turnaround times for our customer service, for preliminary title reports. Knowing when that stuff is going to get to our client and being able to be transparent in our turnaround times allows us to know what's going on in transactions, establish problems if they exist ahead of time, solve those problems at a faster rate, and then ensure closing rates go up.
Client processes are not the only factor that differentiates WFG from the competition. An understanding of the complex regulatory environment and how that applies to their clients' needs truly sets Williston Financial Group apart. With their commitment to the client and to a clean process, Williston has created an environment that is not only attractive to the lenders, but to their service professionals as well.
Our success at WFG is purely because we do obsess about service. We exist for our clients, and if we have to, we'll find a means to make everything work.
WFG is committed to compliance, clean processes, and a work ethic that is totally focused on effective, efficient, and exemplary customer service. Williston Financial Group is quickly becoming the go-to trusted source for real estate title insurance.
Patrick, has the real estate services industry changed in the past 6 years?
You know, the past 6 years have been a real challenge, Jackie. There's been the economic downturn, which caused a tremendous contraction in business, and everybody had to adjust the expense structure and streamline their processes. Then we had the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, which we've talked about. That has resulted in us making a tremendous commitment to compliance. And then we have the potential changes in mortgage finance and the potential emergence of a privatized securitization market. That will result in a real emphasis on QC, data verification, and building a mortgage that can be sold to the private sector.
So Patrick, what would you say drives service at WFG?
You know, we keep in mind at all times that we're part of a process that includes realtors, lenders, and a lot of other participants. In order to provide good service, we have to be very much aligned with our clients, with the mortgage lender, with the realtor, and making sure that what we do supports them and makes everybody in the process able to provide a satisfactory experience for the customer.
Don, do you consider the regulatory environment to be set now, or is it still somewhat in flux?
Jackie, there's no question that there are regulations that have been with us for years, in some cases decades, going back to 1999 and the enactment of Graham-Leach-Bliley, which deals with the protection of private information, non-public information. There were rules passed earlier in 2001, 2006 that we've lived with since those rules were imposed. And then the overreaching enforcement around the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, or RESPA, dates back to the mid-70s. So there's a number of these rules and federal regulations that we've lived with very openly and with an evolving understanding of what that does to our industry for, as I say, years or even decades. What is now very much in flux is the rules that have been imposed by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, as we've talked about. They've implemented 7 rules that were issued earlier this year, which will no doubt take effect in 2014. The interpretation, the application, the auditing, and the enforcement of those rules is still very much open for interpretation.
Wow.
I think also state regulation and insurance department regulation. I think every regulator out there feels an obligation to the consumers to make sure that business is done in a compliant, legal manner. And I think there's a very positive, heightened awareness of protecting the consumer.
So, Don, how is Williston Financial Group adjusting to this regulatory climate now?
Well, first, we embrace it. This is something that, although we were asked to comment and we were actively involved in the comment periods, once those rules were imposed, we now embrace that as being part of the framework that we run our company on. So as we deal with the regulations, we are actively involved in writing new policies and procedures, documenting things that may have been a practice but not necessarily written in a form that we think meets these higher standards. Training employees, I mentioned before, one of our critical assets is our employees and having them at the leading edge of understanding these rules and applying them in the marketplace. Things such as the protection of non-public data, private consumer data, understanding what those rules are and implementing new rules in that regard too. So it starts with the embracing of these and then implementing policies, practices, and procedures that then operationalize those rules that are now part of our business.
Now, you just mentioned, Don, that you were asked as a company to comment on the rules and all of that. Why in particular would WFG
well, the
be
industry
asked?
was. In fairness, Jackie, the industry was asked, as it is with a lot of rulemaking. The regulatory bodies will often ask for comment from the industry. They would propose a rule, they would ask for comments, because sometimes they don't know what we refer to as the unintended consequences of some of these new rules. So the industry as a whole was asked, we were actively involved in commenting on a number of those rules so that we could put in our comment, our understanding, our experience into the marketplace as to the application of those rules and how it would have a practical impact on our business.
And as far as experience, I gather you have a bit. How many years have you all been in business at Williston?
Well, Williston's been in business 3.5 years. Personally, I've been in business or been in this industry 38 years. And Don, how about you?
I'm a member of a number of state bars, and so as a practicing lawyer, involved in this industry for almost 40 years. Yeah.
A lot of experience.
Yes.
Is the real estate services industry, Patrick, taking advantage of automation these days to help with this?
You know, this is a good question, Jackie, because the industry on a component basis has done a tremendous job of automating and embracing technology. But if you look at the industry as a process, it's incremental. Each element of the industry has embraced technology to enable their component, but the technologies don't talk. We don't exchange data. We don't input one thing one time at the beginning and carry it all the way through the end of the process. ultimately that is a tremendous opportunity for the industry. If we can share data, if we can integrate the process so that it's seamless, there'll be less errors, the system will operate more efficiently, closings will occur quicker with better end results.
And there's no one who wouldn't want to see that.
Well, I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think. How important is financial backing to what you do in your industry, Patrick?
It's absolutely critical. We are an insurance company. We are rated and regulated based on our financial wherewithal. Golden Gate Capital is a principal investor. We have zero institutional debt and a backer with $9 billion in capital.
Excellent. And what's your loss experience as a title underwriter?
Our loss experience last year was about 1.2%, and that compares with the industry average of about 5%. So
Wow.
we've been very fortunate. Now, let's be real honest. Part of that is because we have no tail. And by that, I mean that we were not an active underwriter in the 2006 to 2008 time period where most of the losses are coming from.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, Patrick, are lenders a key component of your business as well?
Absolutely. It all starts with the lender, to be honest with you. The lender provides the capital for someone to buy a home. The lenders fuel the industry. So we need to make sure that we take care of the lenders. We need to make sure we understand the lenders. And we align our services and our focus on the lenders.
I'd like to ask you both this next question. What differentiates WFG from your competition?
We are not an independent institution. We're a part of a process. And that process is started by our clients. We are an extension of their efforts to satisfy their clients' needs.
We also have a philosophy that we adapt to the customer's processes. We have a number of integrated software solutions that we offer to our customers, but we have to meet them where they are. And so this adapting to their systems and understanding where they are in the process, writing those integrated programs so that, as I said earlier, we minimize the number of keystrokes or rekeying of data. The ability to have seamless processes in that takes a lot of the errors out of that process and allows us to be more effective, more efficient, and more cost effective as we serve those customers. So this whole idea of adapting to their processes and then integrating to them is another thing that I think we do uniquely at WFG.
Where do you both see the future of Wiliston Financial? Patrick?
Well, we see the real estate industry continuing to expand for at least the next 3 to 5 years. I mean, household formation has outgrown new construction now for 5 years running and will continue to do so. So we're very optimistic about the real estate industry, and we believe with the CFPB rule enactment that we talked about, we believe with the transition to a more private securitization market, that there's going to be a lot of opportunities for a company that's customer-oriented, that's aligned with the customer's processes to be successful. So we're very excited about it.
Jackie, on that same note, we see our company in the next 2, 3, 4 years continuing to be a leader in compliance. We see that as a characteristic that will distinguish our company from competitors and others in the marketplace, and it will attract our customers to work with a company that is committed to compliance, the seamless processes that I mentioned a few minutes ago, high customer satisfaction, all done around the development of a workforce that is committed to the same goals as the company.
Wow. Well, it's obviously a tough industry, but it sounds like Williston Financial Group is making some really sound decisions and has a strong plan for the future. So thanks to both of you for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And as always, thank you for watching. For 21st Century Business, I'm Jackie Bales.